My name still remains Esemere Marshal A. Hoyato. Well, the last video I did about the crisis that ensued the suspension of the Enigie in Igbanke. You know, I have been receiving so much backlash from the Igbanke people. Well, in this video, I will be giving more deeper insight into the history of Igbanke. This time, I want to let you know that the Igbanke that the Igbo people are claiming are more Benin than they think. Before I continue, please let's just play this short clip from the press briefing that was given by that fake pastor.
We want to first of all acknowledge the presence of our kings in Igbanke. One of our kings is Olig, Lucky Osunde III. Eze of Ota, Dr. J.C. Isito, Eze of Ake, Chukwueku, Igbenejon, Igbenoba, Eze of Omula, Edobo Waifu, Eze of Iggonto, Moses Omorodion, Eze of Idumodin, Blessing Igebo.
You could hear all the names of the Enigie he mentioned are all Benin names. They are all Edo names. You cannot cry more than the bereaved. The Enigie that were suspended are all Benin Enigie. They are not Igbos. Well, I believe they are bereaved of the history of Igbanke. That is the reason I'm doing this video. I want to give a deeper insight into the history of Igbanke, how these communities and how those quarters in Igbanke were created, and also the names of the Enigie that has ruled over these quarters in Igbanke, although not the full list anyway, but majority of the names of the former Enigie who has ruled over these quarters in Igbanke. First, I will be starting with the A-Oba. A-Oba. A-Oba was founded by one of those fugitives, you know, who ran away from Mbiri. All right. Now, let's look at the list and the names of the Enigie that has ruled over A-Oba. Although these are not the list or the full list of the Enigie, now the first one, they will have Obi and Eze, we have Emodi, Ugbebo, Ogiemudia, Osazuwa, Idumodin, Igbenoba. These are a few names that we were able to, you know, to get from the list of the past Enigie that has ruled over A-Oba. Now let's move over to Idumodin. Idumodin, according to historical narration of the creation of Idumodin, it was created by Atabo, a blood relative of Oba Ozolwa. Now, let's look at the list of the Enigie that has ruled over Idumodin. We have the first person there. We have Atabo, we have Odin, we have Oto, we have Ebohon, we have Ureso, we have Oboigbe, we have Ode, Esobu, Nwako, Igwise, Ebezoboru, Omozusi, Igebo, Otabo. All right, are these names Igbo names or are they Eka names? Now let's move over to the next dukedom in Igbanke. Now we are now in Iggonto, Idumiru. Now let's look at the history of Iggonto. The first known person to settle in Iggonto is called Otum. Is that an Igbo name? The actual date he came is not known. He, in company of other emigrants from Benin during the reign of Oba Obi, in about 1400 AD, after some years of wandering through the forest, settled at a place which was later called Oto, near a small stream now known as Obi stream. Oto, whose name was later corrupted or referred to as Unto, was a renowned native doctor, hunter, and a great magician. He was said to have used powers in ways inconsistent with the accepted norm of the Benin people at that time. His Royal Majesty Oba Obi, according to history, prescribed different punishment for anyone who went against any established law under his sovereignty. Iggonto was founded by a Benin man known as Oto. That is not an Igbo name too. All right, known as Oto. Now let's look at the history of Iduiru and how Iduiru was created. According to history, Oba Eze the Great was going for a war when one of his daughters named Iru secretly followed him. Iru became tired on the way and the Oba told her to wait behind at a place now called Ihualikani in Eka. The place has been renamed and is a shrine today in Iduiru. Iru was to stay with some of his warriors. When the Oba and his warriors went a little further, he decided to plant an Egbon tree in that place, which was to serve as a market square. And he further left other people who now became Iggonto. As at the time the Oba was coming from the war, he noticed that Iru is now pregnant. He then told Iru and the people he left behind to remain there and be fetching water for her from the next stream called Gidigbi stream. History has it that the name of the person who put Iru in the family way was called Igenwa. As a result of this, Idumiru women or people greet La Genwa till date to immortalize the name of the ancestors. Oto was a person who founded Iggonto. Iggonto, Idumiru are still brothers and sisters till date. Now let's look at the names of the Enigie that has ruled over Iggonto. Although not all the names are here anyway, the names we have here are few. We have Egbe, Omodia, Ero, Owadia, Osifo, Emefele, Omo Odion, Owafiokun. Are these names Igbo names? Now let's quickly move over to the next one. We have the next dukedom. We have Olig. In my earlier video I did, Olig was created by another Benin warrior, Olig, who was coming from a war in Idumodin. As they were coming, he founded palm fruits around there and he decided to stay behind. He didn't go back to Benin. So he decided to settle in the Olig. Now let's look at the names of the Enigie that has ruled over Olig. We have the first one, Ilogie, okay, or Ilolige. Then we have Otoba, we have Igbinige, Ogbogie, Omoikpe, Imumu, Aigbogie, Okeka, Igbinoba, Ogefo, Omo Ehima, Osunde 1, Alemeke, Osunde 2. Are these all Igbo names? Now let's quickly move over to the next dukedom, which is Omula Ogbahu. Omula Ogbahu was formed by the Benin, the Agbo, and the Esan people. It's a combination of these three ethnic groups that formed Omula Ogbahu. Now, according to history, the origin of Omula could be traceable to Benin, Agbo, and Esan. During the reign of Oba of Benin, named Oba Ozola the Conqueror, in about 1487 AD, there were many villages under his sovereignty. Oba then sent out one of his sons to become the Enigie of Auhu village in the present-day Esan, southeast local government area. After some time, many years, the Enigie also sent out one of his sons named Nebu to explore some other areas. Nebu wandered through the forest until he got to where he found a pond. He settled there and made this place his permanent home. In appreciation of the usefulness of the pond to him, he named it after himself. Today, the pond is a shrine in Omula, a small thick forest opposite the present Enigie's royal palace. History holds the opinion that Nebu must have been very generous and without the interest of overloading himself on the people. Hence, he did not name the village Omula after himself. Nebu, is that an Igbo name or a card name? Now, we'll move over to the list of Enigie. That are some of the Enigie that has ruled over Omula. We have Nebu, Uwadia, Ukebo, Ogefo, Akibo, Eriabo, Nwanene, and Uwaifo. These are a few names we were able to get from the list of the Enigie that has ruled over Omula. Are these names Igbo names? Now, we'll move over to the next dukedom, which is Ota. Yes, Ota was founded by people from Mbiri too and Onichugbo. Now, let's look at the list of the Enigie that has ruled over Ota. Although not all, though, we have Igbanke, Erivo, Aziken, Obage, Eledu, Igihon, Odo, Emafidon, Alika, Osafile, Isito. Most of these names are all Benin names. Now, that is a collection of the list of the Enigie that has ruled over these 6 quarters of Igbanke. Now, the judgment is now left with you to decide if these communities are Igbo or Benin. Of all the names I have mentioned, as regards the list of the Enigie that has ruled over these dukedoms, almost all of them are Benin names. I pity a lot of traducers who are bereft of the historical narration of Igbanke, who delved into this matter from the middle. Now, before you delve into what you don't know, please go and study the history of Igbanke before you start engaging in the fight that you cannot see the end. I want to categorically state that the Enigie of Igbanke who were suspended are fighting a futile fight. You are doing all this gra-gra in futility. It won't lead you anywhere. Instead, you are getting yourself deeper into this mess. By the time actions are taken against you people, you will not find it funny. You people will not find it funny. We know the people behind this whole thing. The people instigating this crisis are the people from Anioma, people like this useless almighty, Egbezue, the tribes. We know you all. At the end of the day, the rain that fell on the hill will certainly find itself back into the stream or the river. That is where I will end it. A word is enough for the wise.